Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tameva Tameva Bandhuscha Shakha Tvameva Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Thou my mother, thou my father, thou my friend and thou my philosopher, thou my living, thou my caring, thou art all in all, O God of gods. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. So we are in the Narada Bhakti Sutra again, Narada's way of divine love. And we are reading verse number 27, which in Sanskrit says that Isharasopi Obhimanudesitvat and Dvaino Priyotacho. God also loves two things. Ishara does not like ego, who has the pride and ego. And also loves those who are very humble. Because of these two reasons, that one should be humble, one should be very free from ego to be a devotee. I think that is the meaning of the verse. And we are reading from this book of Narada's Way of Love from Swami Prabhupada. And you have read that God dislikes egotism. That means that as long as we have egotism and vanity, page 71, God remains hidden or covered with us. The man of God who has attained this supreme love transcends his ego consciousness. But where does it ego go? That ego becomes servant ego. That ego which says, I am something, same ego will be, oh Lord, you are thy master, I am thy servant. Hanumanji used to say, ne? When I am in the body consciousness, dehu buddhya, I think I eat, I sleep, I have weakness, I am struggling, I am happy, I am unhappy. So long I feel I am the body, so I am dasoham. I am your servant. Oh Lord, you are the master. No? So another mood comes, jiva buddhya, another state comes. That's a different mental state. I am the jiva, you are the, what is called the cosmic Brahma. So Paramatma, I am jiva, Atma, you are Paramatma. So I am a part of it, I am not separate from you. Master and servant are separate, no? He has no ego, but that ego is centered around God as a servant. Hanuman said, I am your servant when I am in body consciousness. When my mind goes into the jiva, I am an individual soul, you are the cosmic soul. Jiva buddhya tad angshaka, I am angsha, a part. A conflagration of fire, and I am a spark. Spark is also heat and light. And this is also cosmic heat, bigger heat. But I am a part, I am not separate. And Atma Buddhya, when I think that I am the Atma, not the body, not the mind, not the self, Trame Baham, you and me are one. Huh? So here the first point, it is a bhakti book. Bhakta does not want anything. He wants to be servant of the Lord and stay in the life in that way. So that's why we read that the disliking here egotism means as long as you have egotism and vanity, God's grace does not come. If it comes, it does not stay with us. Even God's come. Suppose some the example of the high mount. If the rainfall comes, what will happen? Rain comes. It drizzles down. It does not soak there, but it will be there when it is low ground. So grace of God to hold, we need to be humbled. So that is the idea. It is egotism is no place in bhakti, and humility. Bhakti demands humility. Yeah? Daso, daso, daso. Aham nohang, nahang, nahang. Ramakrishna says, nahang, nahang, tuhu, tuhu, tuhu. Oh Lord, not me, but thou and thou and thou. No? And he gave the example. What? What example? Says that, see, the cow is so good. It does so much good things, but he suffers. Why he suffers? He gave an example, gross example. He has, when he stays, he says, hamba, hamba, hamba. No? The cow naturally, that is their way of expressing themselves. And Ramakrishna said, that's what he's saying. I am that. I am. I. See, because of that hamba, I. See, what is his fate? Its fate is so miserable because people take him, that cow, the bull, for tilting the ground, no? Or it is a ordinary cow, then even they use in the villages to till the ground, milk it, no? And then when he cannot go, then beat them, no? And then after that, when they become old, they butcher it, they cut it, eat the man. No? So I am not that. That does not end. Because I, hamba. It becomes then, it goes to the, what you call those people who makes the quilt. They make the cotton become what is called puffy. And that they put into their mattress or something like that. And how they do? They create out of the string, they create a string of his, what you call, entities. And then they strike. Boom, boom, boom. You have seen that? In India, they do that. There is one type of handmade thing. One side it will be one piece of wood or something, light wood, and other step string should come this way. And they take a striker and with the cotton, they strike over it. So the strike gets flared up. So it is contact, it becomes flared up. And then he says, tuhu. So the cow gets released because he's saying, oh Lord, not me, thou art everything, you are everything. That's the release of freedom from the bondage. So this Ramakrishna's example is so unique that ego, where there is ego, it is not good for spiritual life, and humility is the end. So, giving this example, Ramakrishna said, the cow suffers so much because of the ego, and ego when says, not me, O Lord, you, thou, and then he gets freed from all entanglements. So he says that in this book, he says that in one of the Upanishad we read, a man of realization becomes nativadi. That is, he becomes humble and does not assert himself. In the Upanishad also, we find that it is said that they become natibadi, na otibadi. He becomes humble, does not assert himself. And also in Sri Chaitanya's prayer we have read every day, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly, Om, name of the Lord. So what is seeing Sri Chaitanya also advocating this egolessness. And he also quoted the Psalms in the Christian Bible and the Psalms, where he says, him that hath a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. And in the proverb it says, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Peter said, God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Exactly like the message of the Bhakti schools. And Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita probably describes the tendencies conceited, haughty, foolishly proud. These malignant creatures are full of egotism and vanity and wrath. I cast them back again and again into the womb of degraded parents, subjected them to the will of birth and death. In Bhagavad Gita. Aham tvam, those who are proud and ego and vanity, I push them into the cycle of birth and death, and so that they go through the suffering and pain until they become purified. So please, we have come to 72 now. And then we read, this does not, however, mean that there are lost forever. Anyone who has ego, we are not perfected. So we have our ego. Are we lost forever? No. Said, because our God withholds his grace from them. God is always kind. After suffering throughout many births, what happens? You get knocks and blows. After getting knocks and blows, people learn more. So long they have pride, I am such this, okay. But this world is created in such way, world will come upon us. It will give very much strong knocks and blows till our ego get crushed. And then when we go to God, then the cycle of birth and death is gone because his grace now can find place to act on the life. So the noble characters, the love, the grace, the blessings, all will be able to absorb in the life when one becomes humble and pure. Ego, it is the ego that keeps them blinded. It is true that both experiences of happiness and misery in life are great teachers, but misery is a greater teacher. In life, we all go through suffering, misery, joy, pleasure, opposite, pleasure and pain, suffering and... But misery sometimes teaches us more. Suffering teaches us more. For when a man is in the depth of misery and finds no way out, then it is that he turns towards God, knowing that God alone is the refuge. Actually, when we turn towards God, no? When every door we find that all doors are shut down, no? Suppose someone in, I have some disease, where I go first? I go to doctor. And doctor says this test, that test, they would give this medicine, this and that. A point sometimes come, the doctor says, I cannot do anything. Nothing can be done now. Then where you go? When everyone says, no, I have no, even I am kind to you, you want to help you, but I cannot do anything. Your system is not taking anymore. Lungs is failing, or heart is failing. No? So there comes a surrender. And that surrender you go to. The devotees go to that point to get that type of experience, surrender themselves to God. So in life sometimes we are afraid of misery, suffering. Who wants suffering? If anyone in the world is there, hey, I like suffering, let suffering come to me. Few people. Rabindranath Tagore, the holy people, they are those who have spiritual element. They will, yeah, give me more suffering. Who said? Arjuna's mother, Kunti. He said, oh, give me more suffering if you would like to give. But give me the strength to think that you are with me. I don't care for anything else. See? That's why it is misery is not misery, because that gives a disgusting attitude of the world, that world cannot give me what I want, only God can give. So that brings us to surrender. But not that we should ask, okay, oh God, give everyone suffering. No, not that. But when suffering comes in our life, if we can take it in that right attitude, then boom, it's done. So, uh, a man in the misery is greater teacher. For when a man is in the depth of misery and finds no way out, then it is that he turns towards God, knowing that God alone is the refuge. God is not partial to anyone, nor does he withhold his grace from anyone. But as Sri Ramakrishna says, on high ground, Sri Ramakrishna says, on high ground, rainwater does not accumulate. Similarly, the grace of God is not felt by a proud man who has a high look. That means they're getting the grace, they're receiving the grace, but denying that. Therefore, to receive the grace, we should be ready to open ourselves. How? By being humble to God, by totally egoless, trying to be egoless to God. So in the world, probably you will have to show little of your ego. Otherwise, people will smash you by your feet, no? By their feet. What you call doormat. They will make a doormat of them. That don't allow up to that. But it should be to God, yes. Oh Lord, I belong to you. Please give shelter. Let me feel your grace to all the suffering and misery and pleasure and pain, whatever happens, let me feel your grace. So that only comes when ego has reduced. With my ego, I can do. I give the example constantly. A child having no ego so long, say, mom takes care of everything. Even some unfortunate child who have lost the mother, maybe, someone takes the position of mother, God's arrangement, some distant friend or distant auntie, uncle, or whoever, someone in the world, known, unknown, takes care, no? When mother, but when this same baby, when the ego grows in that, no? And we are adult now. When we become adult, what? The world says, now you are free to yourself. Find your own way. So ego comes, and when my ego will come more in the even the earthly mother who takes so much care for us, she will also say, yes, you are now adult. You think yourself. You feel consequence. You are new this. So that is the responsibility comes. But when the same person, suppose someone is able and had suddenly got some disease or some suffering, no? Or some odd situation with the health condition, mental condition, and ego become helpless, see, again everyone's attention goes, aha, poor guy, he's in this trouble, we should all help. Even we find many stories that a person is in deep difficulty and some person who feels the suffering of that because he is helpless. So collecting fund for his treatment or giving help to get it to it, send it to him for his survival. We find so many stories in life, no? So the point is that egolessness has its great benefit in the material world and of course in the spiritual world also. But that practice, that means you cannot blame God is partial because someone is very happy and someone is very miserable or suffering. No, God is equal. God's grace is equal. And Ramakrishna's example. You are sailing your boat. Your boat, maybe you have not unfurled your sail, and another boat who has unfurled it. So unfurling the sail, another boat didn't do anything. That boat and this boat, but that boat which has this sail is hanging, it will catch the grace, and it will not catch. You cannot blame. God is gracious to this person and not to me. You have not unfurled. The grace will touch, will carry everyone. It is not partial. The sun's light is not partial for one and the other. But if one hides under their own darkness, the sunlight does not reach there. Sunlight wants to go, but you are blocking by your ego. And he said, that's why the grace is not experienced. So this is the point. God is not partial to anyone, nor does he withhold his grace from anyone. But as Sri Ramakrishna says, on high ground rainwater does not accumulate. Similarly, the grace of God is not felt by a proud man who has a high look. The moment we learn to be humble, we begin to feel his grace. This is spiritual life. Those who are leading the spiritual life, sincerely practicing, they will give a testimony. Whenever we can become humbled, whenever anything bad or good comes, you go and surrender to God. You can feel that someone is there in your heart who listens and makes things easier. Which is uneasy and unbearable, he makes it bearable. So that is the presence. God's grace is there. Only we have to tap it by surrendering to it. That's why Hari Maharaj, Turiyananda, surrender, 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 surrender to the Divine Mother. Why are you thinking so much? Surrender to Mother. Who is saying Brahma Jnani par excellence? Turiyananda. That is the point. But this meaning of this egolessness is to be understood. That meaninglessness means, yes, I am not worst guy, but I am not open to God's grace. So how I can open myself towards God and focus there so that the other things becomes insignificant. When Sri Krishna describes how he subjects those of demoniac nature by saying, I put them to the wheel of birth and death, so that they may learn to devote themselves to him. The meaning, why said God says in the Bhagavad Gita, I put them to the wheel of birth and death. Why he puts in the wheel of birth and death? You'll be disgusted. Oh my God, life is this. I don't want. Where is peace? Where is peace? Where is peace? No? Where people go for searching peace. First they try in the world to find, no? With friendship, with money, with enjoyment, with fun, with this. Right? And when they get frustrated in one point, they try in another area, in another avenue, another avenue. And when all the avenues are closed, where do they go? We'll have to go back to home. No? That is our eternal home, God. That's why he has said that it is when Sri Krishna, the Lord himself, says so, that I put them to the wheel of birth and death, meaning so that they may learn to devote themselves to God, to him. He is not contradicting himself. Or he says elsewhere, Bhagavad Gita says, my face is equal to all creation, loving no one, nor hating any. I, God, am equal to all. Name desasti na priyo. I don't hate anyone. Name priyo, I like it. We human beings have likes and dislikes. I like one person more rather than the other person because I have my imperfection. But when we go to God, God is also impartial or partial. God's face is equal to all creation, loving no one, nor hating any. So you said I cast them to death again and again, and now you are saying, my face is equal. Is it not contradicting? Understand this point. And Swami Prabhupada has brought this question. Just he said, Kshipami Ajasram Ashuhan Asurishu Eva Jonishu. I'll throw them again and again into the birth in the place of a Asuri, demonic character people, and he will be born there, he will suffer like that. And here he says, my face is equal, and to all creation, no hating anyone, and no love to no one. Then what do you mean? So much contradiction in one place in the same Bhagavad Gita, and within few verses after you are saying this. Well, no. He says, my devotees dwell within me always. My devotees who love me because their mind stays with me, and I also show forth, and I am seen within them. You can see me in them, and in them I stay. He stays in me, I stay in them. So, that is the lesson, that understand that God says He is equal, but His grace is everywhere. Only that grace cannot be understood. Suppose we are having heater working here, no? You cannot blame the heater. The heater is bad. Heater is not working here. Right? You have put a wall around this, and the heating effect, you are not getting there. You enter into the zone, you will get the heat. In hot summer, when you enter into an air-conditioned room, and when you are outside, you cannot blame the air conditioner. The air conditioner is selfish. He's helping these people, and I am here in the sun. He's not taking care of me. No, you have to open yourself to the heat, air conditioning area. So open to God's grace area. So humble humility. So this verse emphasizes that is the philosophy of bhakti and bhakta. Bhakti means the path of devotion, demands that one should be humble like a blade of grass, and is the loves humility. Ego, reduce the ego. That's why you go to any Hare Krishna temple, their philosophy will be always dasoham. I am seva, service. Service means you are serving the boss. Who is the boss? I am the servant. You are the Lord. This type of relationship, and I am here to serve you, and my ego is nothing. I only want to hear your order. What order comes from you? Now, 27th verse. We have finished that. Now we are coming to the verse number 28. What it says? Tasya jnanam eva sadhanam iti eke. Now, some school of thought, some sages say that to reach this bhakti, you need to practice jnana, discrimination, analysis, long. By doing that, your mind will be pure. Then you will be ready to open yourself to God. So, what is the truth and untruth? You have to analyze that. So, therefore, some are of the opinion, AK means some people, some school of thought says that knowledge is the means to attain the bhakti. Otherwise, it becomes emotionalism. No? Difference between bhakti and emotionalism. Emotionalism is not bhakti. Emotion comes up and down. One may be excited today, and another will be totally depressed tomorrow. That is the fault of emotionalism. Emotionalism is whimsical. Hmm? But when it's based on reason, you love, then love will be steady love. In human love also, when people are too much emotional, we say, it's very difficult to live with this guy. Huh? It's too much emotional. With something get in one way, and another way, another. Even in human society, we cannot live very peacefully with people who are highly emotional. Of course, human beings are emotional rather than rational. We call rational being, no? Human being and animals and creatures, what is the difference? We are more rational, we say, we demand. But we are most emotional people. That means there is no rational thinking behind. But when it is followed by rational thinking, this emotion becomes bhakti. Understand? Emotion becomes a holy, becoming bhakti. That emotion, Ramakrishna said, we have our emotion, direct it to God. How it will be holy? By directing it towards. But my mind does not go. I love so many objects, but I don't love God. If you love God, you will meditate more. You love anyone, you will have to think of that object, that subject, or the person, or the place, or you love a place like a beautiful place where many scenic beauty is wonderful. Suppose you went to Switzerland and you saw the some beautiful areas there. Your mind will say, "Oh, that is a good place. That is a good place." No, because you have seen that and experienced that it is better than other place. With that knowledge, mind goes there. So mind always turns towards what is noble, what is good. But emotionalism, it is love at first sight. That's called emotionalism. Not analyzing what is in the digging the ground. And when you dug the ground, they say, "Oh my God, he is such a crude person. He is such a rude person. He is such a nasty person. I didn't know." See, that is emotionalism. So here, therefore, to have a bhakti, this some philosophers in bhakti school, they say that you should have knowledge is the means to attain bhakti. What is knowledge means? Simple knowledge means what? Knowing. Knowing means what? He is superior. That's why you love. Who will love less superior or inferior, giving up the what is superior? If I am available to get a gift of say $10,000, and I am available also to take $100. So who is a fool to go to $100? If he knows $100 and $5,000, this is the difference is there. You have to it's much bigger than $100. If to the child you can befool them that this or that, and they may take wrongly because they have no idea that this is higher, this is lower. So in spiritual life also, we always make a wrong choice to love something, and this is imperfect.
Like $100 comes with some other sweet and all this candy that you get. Money will be less, but you will get the parts. That's what the mind imagines. And
that is not proper analysis. That the childlike mind, child is mind. Childlike mind is intelligent mind. They are intelligent but behave like a child, no? Like Brahmagyanis. Childish is foolish. He has no sense. He does not know. He cannot analyze. No? He sometimes makes the wrong choice. Where we can get this, look at that. We are all lacking proper analysis, knowledge. We are always making a wrong choice. 24 hours of the day, we are making always a wrong choice. How we are spending the day, at the end of the day, we say, oh, today is gone. Why it is gone? You serve God every moment. It is God's world. So who has kept that awareness? That's the knowledge. If one has kept the knowledge, then that knowledge would have given him total or her total satisfaction. Oh, today is a blessed day. I utilize it best way. No? But most of the time, this knowledge is not there. Though we are working for God, we say, but really you feel void here whole day. At the end of the day, oh, today is gone. Hey, what did you do from morning till now? Every breathing you did is for God. Actually, this is God's word. You have nothing of your own. Your body is not your own, mind is not your own, your wealth is not your own, your dress is not your own. Everything has been given by God. Food is not your own, your home is not your own. Eh? But we get deluded. We could have thanked for everything. Oh God, okay, I'm thankful to you because it is you, it is yours, it is you, it is yours. Me and mine, not thee and thine. It is your, and not. But this analysis is not there. That's why here, this knowledge, don't take that knowledge to be the supreme knowledge. You are not to know, I am Brahman. Then you start bhakti. Not necessary. Here, bhakti says, here, of course, knowledge does not refer to the illumined knowledge of God. Someone realizes God. After realization of God, you don't need to practice bhakti or dhyana or karma or anything. So, knowledge which is identical with the supreme devotion. Supreme knowledge and supreme devotion are same. Here, in this verse, Narada is not saying about that type of knowledge. Highest knowledge, K, if the K knowledge, K is capital, that is the Brahmajnana. But this is knowledge what? Knowledge here means understanding of the reasons why we need to pray or devote ourselves to God. Even in our working situation, we are not, that means he's talking about us who live in the world, not have attained the highest knowledge, but they have this little knowledge that God is the source of all joy. God is my goal of life. Whatever I am wrongly looking at to be good for me, they are all temporary. Like this type of thought and thinking continuously. So, knowledge here means understanding of the reasons why we need to pray. Why we need to pray? We should understand. Because we can pray to everyone, fall at the feet of everyone, but no one can give me peace. Today he may say a little good, tomorrow he will be giving a blow. Therefore, to go to God. So this knowledge, this is called knowledge here. Here, regular or behavioral transactional world in which we live, for that knowledge that world cannot give me the peace I want. Only God can give. There has to be some knowledge of the goal we wish to attain and of some idea or ideal of God. And of how in God alone there is the fulfillment of life. That is to be understood. That is the knowledge. How bhakti can make us rich in our life. It can feel our heart soothing, peaceful under all circumstances. No? Suffering comes, disease comes, health problem comes. I know God is there. He will take care. No? Surrender, surrender. And He is my only abode. If He wills, everyone will serve me. If He does not want, no one will come to me. So let me go to the root. That example, that story, remember. Ramakrishna said about that story. The king Akbar, the greatest Muslim king in India, he was praying to God. In his prayer, he was praying, "Oh Allah, give me more land, more property, more wealth, more expansion of my kingdom, so I can do good to my subjects." He's a good person. And a fakir, a wandering Muslim fakir, is called fakir. He came, people used to go to kings, and kings would give some money, something like that, whatever they need. That was the way. He went to first asking something from him, some money or some physical assets or some money or property or something. And when he entered there, he saw that the emperor himself is calling upon Allah, saying, "Oh Allah, please give me this, give me that, give me that." And hearing that, the fakir started to go back. And the emperor was kind and very noble, so he indicated that stop, don't go. Because I am praying and you came to ask for something, but you are going away. So he indicated to stop. He stayed. And when prayer is over, then the emperor came back. He said, "You holy man, you have come. Why are you going away? My door is open for you. This is a place for all holy people to have anything you want. My treasury is open to that." He said, "No, not for that. I came. I have some needs, earthly needs. But I came to you and see, I am coming to you. You are begging to Allah. So why I go to Allah? Why I should go via you? I should not beg to a beggar. You are begging, is it not? You are begging and I am a beggar. So you want to, why shall I beg to a beggar? Rather let me beg to God himself, who is the giver, who is giver of everything, to the king also, to the emperor also, to the poor people like us also. No? So this is the point. That don't beg to the beggar. But we are always day and night, we are begging that way. We are all begging for you. Will you be kind to me? Thank you, thank you. Will you be sweet to me? Will you be nice to me? Ah, ha, ha. So begging everyone, but not to God. So that is the point. Here it is said that much knowledge should be in our mind that God is supreme. And our love should be directed to God. Even if you get a human love. But you have to think that is God is giving. It is only channel. You have the same faucet. How many faucets are here? The supply of water is coming from the same source. Don't thank this faucet. Oh, faucet, you are giving so much water. This faucet is getting the supply from the same supply where all the faucets are getting supply. So similarly, all the love, all the affection, even is they have to get. Those who love today, tomorrow they will be not very kind. It happens all the time. But if we can think that it is God's grace is coming to me, God's affection is coming to me, I am receiving God's grace, then you elevate it. No? Then it is not your earthly achievement or loss or gain. It's not like that. There has to be some knowledge of the goal. Actually, we'll finish this then. There has to be some knowledge of the goal we wish to attain and some idea or ideal of God and of how in God alone there is fulfillment in life. If I find all fulfillment in God, if I understand intellectually, then I will not go to anywhere. I will hold on to that place. No. If I know here I can get this much little, there I can get more, as in the job offer, what happens? One gets a job, he's searching for another job. We say, I got a better offer, is it not? Normally, day-to-day life, we find that. I got a better offer, though it will be little work, but I got this better offer, so I am moving to it. So if we know God is the best offer, then naturally mind will, this much to understand, this is the best offer given to us in life. So when one understands that, that much knowledge is necessary to generate love for God, bhakti. Buddha mentions the right understanding as the first step in his enlightened eightfold noble path to reach nirvana. In the cloud of the unknowing, we read prayer may not be goodly by begotten in beginners or proficient without thinking before. If you don't think before, then the prayer may not be taking its advantage. You are not taking the advantage because you do not know that you are praying to the highest and you need not have to go to anywhere. The faculty of reason has an important place in spiritual life. The vain arguments must be avoided by the aspirant. No? Vain argument, you have to analyze. Analyze that this is a higher offer. This is the greatest offer to love God. No? That much you should know. But this much analysis, this much reasoning helps us to go to God and hold on to the feet of the Lord more tangibly. 29 verse, 4 questions. Okay, so we can go to the question then. Quickly. Anirban from Tokyo. I always try to feel God as the only truth of this life. But sometimes a kind of feeling comes that God is just another thing in this world. How to overcome this feeling? That's their saying. We have to listen to the holy people and then look at their life, how they have depended on God and God alone. So how many great saintly people have lived in the world and they depended on God and see the fulfillment they achieved. So we'll have to try again analyze what this world can give me, what this house can give me, what this money can give me, what this wealth can give me, what this friendship can give me. Is it not God's friendship much stronger and stable? So we have to always analyze and pray to God also. I would suggest we should have to pray to God, oh God, oh Lord, please give me that feeling that you are in my life, everything. Yeah? As we just started our prayer, that, oh Lord, you are my father, you are my mother, you are my friend, you are my philosopher. No? And there is nobody other than you. Tommy Sarvam. You are my everything, O Lord of Lords. So that every day to pray and use our intelligence that others cannot give that peace eternal, then no one would have come to God. Look at the saints and seers of all religious tradition. So they have experienced this. So I will also be able to follow their footsteps. So question 1 is that. Second question, is it possible that the spiritual progress made in the past lives be hidden in this life until a certain point and then through God's grace become prevalent suddenly? Yeah, that also we find in many devotees' life, no? They are not having much knowledge about God or anything, just leading a different type of life. And suddenly, one incident, meeting one friend, going to some place, listening to something, a transformation came. And then they become very deep spiritual personalities. That indicates, yes, the past life's good karma bring the mind into that environment. Some and then spiritual practice starts from there. That's why you find that we are all born maybe the same year. How many people are born? Someone have realized God already. No? Someone is much absorbed. Someone is less absorbed. Someone does not care for God. To account for all these states of being, we have to accept that yes, there is that some past lives good karma or good practice has happened. In between some fall, we may have sometimes stripped from that path. That's why so many years went away, and suddenly, like a sudden explosion, people feel the presence of God or to turn totally into God consciousness. God's grace. Yes, our good karma is also. You are right. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible that the spiritual progress made in the past lives, that's a hidden somewhere in us, in the mind, no? And it was waiting to at a certain point of time, and then it opens up. Huh? It is like a spring. Sometimes spring is covered with a stone, and the spring is not found, natural spring. And by some reason, if the block block of stone, a stone which is covering the face of the spring, is taken out, you see, spring starts functioning. So similarly, the spring of God's love flows to people. We hear many stories. A Billamangal story, he was too much attached to lust and greed, and he used to go to prostitute every night. Her father died that night also. He finished his father rites, last rites, and then he swam the river, and didn't mind it is raining, no boat, but went to that lady, and seeing that condition, this lady gave it. Yeah, you are running after flesh and bone only? Have you given this much love for God? You have realized God? Boom! And that one word, he became the saint Billamangal. And then he left and became a monk. There itself. So how will you explain? There was something was hidden with some bad karma was maybe somewhere or whatever happened. But we should not wait for that. It is an extraordinary example like this. So, yes, Ma Kali, maybe who is writing us, then Ma Kali probably is the nickname. I fantasize about non existence and feel a deep connection to Kala Bhairava. The ego wants to die. However, a poisonous spider nearby shows me much underlying fear. I have no living form in my physical proximity as a source of direct faith, living guru. I find it difficult to draw on the formless for faith without having been touched by a form. How to reconcile? That means how to reach that formless unless you get to the form. Yes, we are human being. We live in name and form. We are name and form. Consciousness plus name and form. So I am to start to see God, the cosmic consciousness, with a divine name and form. Divine name and form is we call Mother Kali, we call Bhairava, we call Hanumanji, we call say Shiva, we call all the divine different perspective. Satchidananda plus the cosmic noble holy name and form. So as I am a name and form, but behind me is also consciousness. So the cosmic consciousness with the divine form and name, Shiva, Kali, Durga, different names in different religions may be different. Even we call avatars, Rama, Krishna, Christ, Buddha. So we need to hold them. That's why we can relate. Name and form, seeing some name and form. And by praying and praying and praying, then what happens? That you then become tuned to that lower imperfected name and form, seeing the perfected name and form gets purified, purified, purified. And when that will be purified, then the same Mother Kali will appear as cosmic consciousness. Same Bhairava, where you see that deep connection, I feel a deep connection, non-existence, fantasize about better not to think of non-existence. At Vedanta, we always take a positive look. It is existence. Non-existence is also a philosophy, but better to take this route. As a result, existence, Brahman plus name and form. Existence here also, name and form. So name and form can think of name and form. Lower name and form can think of higher name and form. By that way, we get up into that realm, and then we become like that, and that leads us to the consciousness. So we should have to practice this, I think. All name, yes, we need to reconcile this, that this will lead me to the ultimate goal of seeing the divine everywhere. Any more? Anything you say?
Okay, half question of only one.
Where is that? How to truly, another question, how to truly realize anna asrayanam tyagaha principle in our lives. That we have discussed. On his question is how to truly realize anna asrayanam tyaga. I have to give up surrendering to other objects and take refuge. We have to refuge in taking God. Acha, how we'll do? First of all, if we believe, then the problem is solved. But I don't believe it. Okay, you then trust the world, trust a friend, and you see how much it works. We get the stories. Many friends are good friends, huh? But when you become penniless, that good friend never looks back to you. So where will you go? Therefore, how to truly realize Onna Asraya? Onna Asraya means surrendering to other things, taking refuge in all other objects of the world. Tyaga, I have to give up. How shall I give up? We take either you can learn, you can hear from somebody and learn. Many few people hearing something can learn. They are advanced people. Don't put your finger into the fire. If someone says a baby learns. Intelligent baby may be learning because they may have sinned. But unintelligent children, they will put their finger and burn and then say, oh, no, it is not, it will burn. Huh? So similarly, the holy people in all the texts saying, Bhagavad Gita is saying, Upanishads are saying, last word Ramakrishna is saying, Bible has said. So wherever all the great people whom we respect, they are saying surrender to God is the best. If I hear that and my mind resonates, you're done. You're at least in a position you can understand that. But the problem is that I don't understand. Still, I think, oh my, this problem I could have solved by going to this help and taking this advantage, taking that advantage. You can do that temporarily, but a time will come. These people whom you loved, whom you gave, whom you do everything, they will turn back. Then where shall you go? Onno, other, asraya means the place of refuge, to give up. How to give up other refuge? We'll go to the refuge, take refuge there first. And then ultimately, a time will teach us that God is the only refuge. Other refuge, or those godly, they can give me more support. God or godly people can give me more support, lingering support. But if you see, there is no godly aspect, that cannot support us. Very flimsy. That's why he even says, your heaven cannot give you perfect peace. In the Katha Upanishad, Plabahiyete adrida. The plava means the float. In the river, people make float with the banana tree and other things, bind together, and that can float in the water level. But if you put little heavy water, it sinks. So the Katha Upanishad says you can go for karma kando, you can do good charitable activity and get good name, fame, but they will not give you, sustain you with eternal happiness, eternal peace, support. Support is very flimsy. It supports today, but tomorrow it goes. So God, by our experience, I think that will come. how we try to find our solace in the objects, material objects, or with people, with money, with building, with house, with big house or small house, becoming rich, or controlling others, big leader. But that peace will not come unless we reach or take refuge in God. Okay, thank you all. So I think it is done. So we'll now end now, and our next class today will be at 7:30. Will be for the Bhagavad Gita. One thing, no, sorry. uh, today will be the nectar of supreme knowledge. And just to announce that, uh, oh, there is somebody from India also, and also from other part. Anyhow, so our the Mother Kali puja will happen, but you will enjoy from your home. Though we all wish that you should have come here, but there is no opportunity for us under the pandemic situation. It is growing, so we don't want to take risk of your life or neither of others' life. So please be in your home and enjoy the Durga Kali Puja on the 14th, Saturday. It will start around 10 o'clock and it will go on as usual with the home of fire. It will end around what time? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, like 3 o'clock at least, like around that time, 2 to 3, it will end. So please enjoy. We are very sorry that this temple will not be um, given for other devotees to come in, only for that risk. No? So, but you will be able, you can see every thing going on here through YouTube, and we'll send the link, of course. You can find or youtube.com/Vedanto.org. That will be enough, is it not?
Yeah.
Good. So Vedanto.org, no dot in between. YouTube, Vedanto.org. So we'll be. Thank you all, and let me end. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.